It's a special holiday edition of The Feast this week. Join PA, Nordo, and Alec Lewis this Wednesday at Buffalo Wild Wings in Roseville as they get you ready for the Christmas Day battle with the Lions. Plus, great eats and your shot at prizes all morning long. Doors open at 8 a.m. this Wednesday. Get all the details today at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pass, Common Man program. 'Tis the season, Teneby, in which people come bearing gifts from ever so far. How about the Macaulay sisters? Once again, bearing gifts for you and I, for no other reason than they like us and that we've supported them in their golfing careers. Get a little Christmas card. Apparently, they think that they don't think you can afford your own golf balls. You got some golf balls, so did I. Bella played in the at Augusta National Golf Course for the women's amateur tournament there. Because they do the Masters, they do the pro for the men, and now they do an amateur one for the ladies. And the flags that they have in the pins on the greens.
Yeah,
she had souvenir ones of those, and each gave us one of those. So that's a nice Christmas gift.
They're the best.
They are the very best, and we do appreciate them. We wish them both a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and the best in their golf careers and in their lives. Right. It is the time for gift giving, and it happens everywhere, including the National Football League. I stumbled across a story in which the story was basically talking about some of the gifts that players receive from other players. Generally, it's a high-profile quarterback giving gifts to his offensive line.
Sure.
And I understand why. Because if anybody breathes on you, there's a penalty flag is thrown. Meanwhile, the guys that are keeping you upright are beaten, torn, and tattered, bruised. They're eating dirt and rubbing Robitussin on it, right? I'm going to need some help on this, Teneby, with you. If you got a calculator.
Okay.
You have a calculator there?
I can get one.
Patrick Mahomes really went above and beyond the call of duty when it came to giving gifts. Now, it doesn't say the number of players. Is it just the starting 5 linemen, or do you think it's the backup linemen as well?
It's a good question. That could get a little awkward.
Yeah. So do you think...
I would assume, I don't know Kansas City's status for the season, but I'm guessing they haven't just had the same 5 guys playing offensive line. So I think you kind of got to give them to all of them, don't you?
So how many usually offensive linemen does a team carry? 12?
8 or 9.
8 or 9? Let's say 10 to round it off. Let's say you have 10 guys.
Okay.
Now, I Googled these items and took the highest prices of all of them except for the Hublot watch. Is it Hublot or Hublot? Hublot?
Huh?
I don't know how to say it. Because there was one of the watches was $143,000 per watch. $143,000. Now, maybe Pat went all out and did the $143,000. He gave Aviton e-bikes, and the highest priced Aviton e-bike is $2,800. So add 2,800 times 10.
28,000.
All right, 20,000.
28,000.
Add this. PS5 with protective carrier, $999. So let's round it up to 1,000 times
10,000.
10 players. $24,000 for the Hublot watch. Hublot.
24,000
per watch, yes.
That's 240,000.
Okay. Oakley Metro glasses, or Meta glasses. Meta. Those are really fancy pants things. $500.
5,000.
Beat Studio Pro headphones, $200.
2,000.
And then Ramawa luggage carriers, the really nice ones made of aluminum, sturdy, $3,000. Okay. So what's that total altogether? It's a lot of money.
Yes. 583,200.
Pat Mahomes is worth $200 million. So can you say what percentage of 200 million is, can you ask AI, what percentage of 200, and that's just what he's worth. You know, that is, and I'm going on AI, if he could be worth more than that. I mean, he signed a $450 million contract, but he hasn't collected all of that yet, right? But as of right now, it says, while exact figures vary, Patrick Mahomes' net worth is estimated to be around $200 million.
0.2% or 0.3%. We'll round it up.
I'm throwing a wet blanket on. I'm doing a mood killer Monday. I'm trying to throw a mood killer on Mahomes. And I'm really not. That is what he wants to do. But when you think of, that's like if I got zero, what did you say? Zero what?
0.3%.
0.3% if I bought you a set of golf clubs for my net worth. That'd be like me buying you a set of golf clubs.
Oh.
I'm not going to.
Sounds nice.
I'm not going to. But it'd be like buying a set of golf clubs for you. So you see, when you put it in that context, we'll put it this way. Goff bought all of his guys that keep him up high-tech golf carts. Okay? 10 guys, $15,000 is the high end of those. So what's that amount to? $15,000 a golf cart for 10 players. Each one gets one.
You just added zero, yeah.
Well, you do it. I can't.
150,000.
So 100 is that $150,000?
What? Say it again. You said 15,000.
$15,000.
Yeah, 150,000.
And we're saying there's 10 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Jared Goff net worth. His net worth is estimated to be around $60 million. So what percentage of $60 million is...
Basically the same thing as that Mahomes said. Okay. Same percentage, 0.25%.
Okay, very good. Well, now another one says Jared Goff, his net worth is $100 million. See, I don't even know which one to believe.
I was going to say, I don't believe these $60 million for Jared Goff because he's made more than that in his career.
This one is saying $100 million. So if you do it that way.
Made more than that.
Yeah. So
I don't think we're close.
Yeah. Yeah, his rookie deal was $27.9 million guaranteed. In 2024, he pushed his career earnings past $100 million with estimates around $200 million in total. Yeah, well, then why are they saying his net worth? He must be not spending his money very wisely if he's only worth $60 million. So I guess my point is, I wish I was a lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs or the Detroit Lions. Those are pretty nifty gifts. But see what I'm saying? It's like, it is wonderful, but it's like me buying you a set of golf clubs.
So could you do that?
What kind you want? I got a connection with, I know a guy who knows a guy.
Sounds nice. I could use some new irons.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Because you've helped me stand up every day for year after year after year. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm getting very emotional here. Yeah, and then there were several examples of other quarterbacks.
And if I gave you 0.25% of my net worth, I could get you like a $15 gift card to Caribou.
How about a sleeve of golf balls?
Yeah.
You know, now I can't afford to buy my own golf balls, but I would take a sleeve of golf balls. But yeah, it was where were some of the other? Let me grab the story again. I had to go off my computer off my story to in order to do the mathematics here. Oh, here's one for you. Here's another one. Doncic. Now here's what he did. Luka. After practice wrap up, Doncic surprised players and staff with more than 100 electric bikes. 100. Spreading cheer throughout the entire organization. Head coach J.J. Redick set the scene by telling the team Luka had something for us, which briefly led at least one player to wonder if a Bugatti was coming.
Huh?
Bugatti electric bike. Bugatti electric bike. I'll take the Bugatti. Doncic, who's been with the Lakers for less than a year, gifted the pedal all-wheel drive S model, priced at $3,350. Multiply that by 100.
100?
Yes. $3,350 times 100.
That's $335,000.
Okay. Hold on. Luka Doncic. His career earnings are $198 million. His, what's his net worth? Give me 1 second here. Net worth. That's not enough. They say where he's worth $100 million.
Yeah, that's wrong.
He signed a 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension with the Mavericks in 2021. How can they be that far off on that? Because just in investments alone, they've made more money. I know there's taxes. I get that. If you make a $200 million contract, you make $100 million, but then you're doing investments. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah, and the career earnings, I'm sure he doesn't count endorsements.
Well, that's what I was talking about with Mahomes, too, because think of all that, all the ones Mahomes has. He has a half a dozen of them. At least got 6, 7 endorsements. So Merry Christmas to all of those people, and have a good night and all that. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a little Dis Stat Lat Common Man program on the Fan.
Headed to the Christmas Day Showdown with Detroit. Swing by the Plaza outside U.S. Bank Stadium this Thursday and ask our street team how you can score Papa Murphy's game day meal deals for a year. Details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pastime common. He is 10 of B. Text messages accepted at the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, and we are striking a nerve, Teddy. There's a lot of topics we've talked about. Well, no, in a good and bad way. I mean, it's just a lot of people have I think appreciate the topic. Is what I'm saying. Someone says coaches and players spend an inordinate amount of time trying to manipulate the refs in their favor. They have no interest in a fairly called game. You could make that argument for sure. You could even make it with Finch. I mean, every coach works the referees. That's part of being a coach on every level, tend to be NBA, collegiate, G League, high school, travel basketball, in-house, Howard Pulley, Sizzle, Pop Warner, working the officials. And I think every coach has a different way of doing it. You know, calm, casual, cool, calm, and collected, ranting and raving. You know, and after a while, you get to know the referees. You know them on a first-name basis, and you know, how you ingratiate yourself to the referee, I don't know. I don't know how that all works. But, so yeah, I mean, and as we'd said earlier, there isn't a coach or a player who he thinks his team is always being fouled and his players never make a foul, or the players think they never make a foul. And that's why, to me, it's kind of an exercise in futility. And I think that's why sometimes, again, it sounds like I'm really sticking up for referees, and I guess I kind of am to a certain degree. If you have a player or coach, you shouldn't do this, but it's only human nature. If you have a player or coach who just keeps riding you and riding you and riding you and basically saying you're missing calls, after a while it's like, dude, I heard what you said. I'm doing the best. I don't think referees are intentionally having them for other teams unless that team or that player or that coach gets to the point where it gets derogatory, and it's just, and I'm not even saying they should do it, but they're probably going to say, well, you think that was a bad call? Wait till you see this one, meathead, right? So I think they are. This one says, Finch is being praised for behaving like a buffoon himself. I don't think Finch gets the praise he currently is getting for sticking up for his team over an evenly called game if the team would have lost. That could be. Had they lost that game, I don't know if people would say it was a great move on his part to inspire him. There would be someone that would say it was the only thing that kept him in the game.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but just following via social media, people were praising it before the outcome was even in doubt.
Yeah.
Or before we knew, so.
Right. But what he's saying is after the loss, would people have praised it then?
I know. I'm just saying, though, he was being praised online by people on social media, and we didn't know whether they're going to win or lose yet.
I'm not a big social media as my guide on what's good or bad.
Yep,
But you're right. No, you're right. I know. And just like I'm sure the fans in the stands were all cheering him. They probably thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Fans love that stuff.
Right. So that's my point. Fans of teams like that, they're always hoping anything that's done will benefit their club, and that's their hope.
Fans love when the manager comes out to the umpire and starts kicking dirt on the plate and kicking dirt on his shoes and yelling and screaming, even though half the time it looks very childish and immature.
Would not cheer for SGA or Luka even if they played for Minnesota. Their foul baiting and flopping are unwatchable. I think he's lying to himself.
I don't know. I kind of agree.
Really?
Yeah.
So if it was announced that the Wolves acquired SGA in a blockbuster trade, they kept Amp, but they let go of Gobert, draft picks, blah, 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 you would say, I can't watch this club play. I'm against this team now.
It's hard to know until they're there.
Yeah.
But I definitely despise the foul baiting out of both of them.
Yeah. I think it change. I think for most people it changes if they're on your team. This one says, Common Man, how come the Power Trip, Paul Allen, and Bumper to Bumper all have weekly guests from the local sports teams, coaches, or players, but you guys don't? Why? They don't want to be on our show. We've tried many, many times. They go buffoon at noon? You kidding me? No. It was a conscious decision I made years and years and years ago when I first started here. I had a part. I started in 1993 and got a full-time show in the fall of 1944. Did I say 44? Seems like that. 1994. And one of my first shows, this is so long ago, we were still the NFC Central and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was in our division. So it was Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears in Tampa Bay. And I did what all the shows do tend to be. I had a beat writer for all four of those towns scheduled for that show that night between 6 and 9. Joe Bag of Donuts from the Green Bay Daily Bugle. Joe Bag of Donuts from the Tampa Bay Daily Planet. Joe Bag of Donuts from the Detroit Free Press, blah, blah, blah. And so phone lines were full, like they always were back in the day. We did a purely call-in show, start to finish. Start to finish. Take calls. That's where the moniker thing started. Steelers guy, Bill Bates guy, asthma guy, officiating guy, vomit guy, this guy, that guy, right? So the phone lines were all full, and we were taking a few calls, and I go, okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, Joe Bag of Donuts from the Green Bay Daily Bugle is next. Then all the phone lines emptied out because the listener, well, I'm not going to get on the air, Common's doing it. Yes, and I thought, well, I'd rather talk to Vomit Guy than talk about the Green Bay offensive line with a beat writer who's probably really into it. You know, he's into it. He's got all the stats, and he loves sports. And I just find that that's what everybody else is doing. So why don't we do something different? Why don't I just talk about myself? That's what I did. Just talked about myself. And we talked about all the listeners. We talked about, then we talked sports too. So we just kind of blended it and mixed it. We got Rosen every week. Hell, we got him for an hour 3 times a week. And we mix and match. We'll have Lieber on a couple times a year. Bursich on a couple times a year. We'll have Chip Scoggins in a few times a year. So we do guess occasionally, but plus I've got a lot to say.
Huh?
Why? I do. It's a lot about nothing, but I have a lot to say. This is valuable. It's only 3 hours a day. Tenneby, you've got a lot to say. If we started having guests, you'd get even less time to talk now than you do as it is. Right? So that's basically why we don't do it. Just so, because everybody else is doing it, so we just want to have our show to be a little different. This one says, someone gives Common their opinion and he disagrees. Crazy, I agree with Tenna. Well, I disagree that you're agreeing with Tenna B. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree that you're disagreeing with him agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'm, if you have a stupid opinion, if you have an opinion that I don't agree with, I'm going to argue with you. Well, I do it mostly because I brought up the term devil's advocate earlier. I really wished I dropped out of high. Not only do I have 4 years of college eligibility remaining, but I have 2 of high school. And had I stayed and walked the straight and narrow instead of getting on the long and winding road, multicolored galaxy, uppers, downers, screamers, and laughter, there's nothing more depraved than a man in the depths of an ether bench. I would have wanted to have been in a debate class. Because I just like debating. I'll take either side of the story and just like to make an argument for it. I think it's fun. I think debate is important. It's live, and I like when it's lively. And do I always believe everything I say? No. But I still like to it keeps your mind fresh, keeps you sharp to debate and to take other stories and try to look at the other person's side of things. I can come back right now if you want me to and just rip SGA and Doncic for their foul baiting. I don't particularly like it either. But I think fans are lying to themselves if they said that guy was on their team doing the same thing. They would hate it. They would like. Do you like parades? They love them in Oklahoma City. We don't have them here. They do in Oklahoma City. And it's not like he does it everybody acts like every shot he takes is foul baiting. I've watched not a lot of Oklahoma City basketball, but enough to know it doesn't happen on every single play. We'll break. We'll come back. And got one more segment to go on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Hockey fans, the IIHF World Junior Championship is set to take over the state of hockey, and we got your tickets to the action all day. Use the TalkBack feature in the iHeartRadio app right now to tell us why you want to see Team USA in action. Winners will be selected all day for a pair of tickets to see a Team USA preliminary round game. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common. He is Tenna B. We're here until 3. We turn it over to, I believe it's Big Ticket and JG in today, though, with these with the holidays fast approaching, schedules do vary from show to show. Vikings beat the Giants 16-13, and here's part of the pain, and it was tremendous, of being a host at an all sports your whole life, just sports station. I felt obligated to watch the entire game. Those listening, unless they're doing it for a living, didn't have to. You could just say, I've had enough of this and just leave, right?
I don't even know if I would have started.
Yeah, go sort socks, watch paint dry, wait for a boiling hot vat of asphalt to be delivered. But yeah, there wasn't, I guess I'm watching just basically to see the J.J. McCarthy, right? I mean, is he the guy or not, Now, he was supposed to have an MRI in his hand today. Is there anything on the Twitter machine?
Haven't heard anything, and obviously, KOC's not talking today, right. And I'm sure there's not media availability, So
for now, we don't know anything other than he left the game with a hand injury, did not return. Max led a scoring drive, didn't he? Didn't he go like six of seven, something like 6-7, and for like 52 yards or something? Remember, it was after the Commanders game in which we were in total command, pardon the pun. We won. That was, remember, we We were shut out the week before by Seattle with Brosmer at the helm. And then the following week, we shut out the Commanders. And there was about 6-7 minutes to go in that Commanders game. And I tweeted out, I put Brosmer in right now. And people thought, that's ridiculous. Got to let McCarthy finish the work. And he needs all the work he can get. Well, yeah, all right. But you're up 31-0. There's 6-7 minutes to go. What more is he going to learn? What more are you going to see? At that point, you're handing the ball off. I thought playing Brosmer, if you believe Brosmer has a future on your roster, not as your franchise quarterback. I don't think anybody, including the franchise and Brosmer himself, believes he's going to be the franchise quarterback. But if you think he's worth keeping on the club as your backup, that's a pretty bad taste to leave in your mouth after as bad as he played Seattle. To have that your only action in the NFL, other than a couple of mop-up duty things, right? But your only time where it's like, it's all yours, kid, go out and get him, because he was not good against Seattle. So I thought, get him in against the Commanders. And they didn't. They let JJ finish it off. Maybe they wanted JJ.
Well, he needed reps too.
Yeah, right. But what I was saying was 6-7 minutes to go and up 31-0. What more is there to see? Does he really need a rep on handing the ball off again? I think he's handed the ball off plenty. I mean, you could make that argument. I guess I'm disagreeing with you again. I just thought he's engineered a 31-0 lead. Everything's good. Now you're just handing the ball off anyways and maybe throwing one short pass. And just for Brosmer's sanity, because of how bad it's like tend to be after I have a really bad show, which is often. I wouldn't want that to be my last show or live with that. I'd like to go out and try to improve upon. Like I always hate when my last round of the year is awful. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. For Max Brosmer, that was such a bad performance, especially the interception. That you would want to rinse that from your mouth and give him an opportunity to play a little bit better. And he got that chance yesterday. It wasn't great, but it was miles ahead of his last game. So that was nice to see.
He was functional,
which was nice to see. At least he can hold his head up high and go, you know what? Because didn't he lead the team to a score?
Yeah, they got a field goal, yeah.
Yeah, so he led the team to a score. He moved the ball a little bit. Good for him. We might see more of him now, depending upon how serious the injury is to McCarthy's hand. Where do you stand on the McCarthy thing?
I mean, his last couple of performances have been encouraging, right? Thanks to the NFC East for allowing the Vikings season to turn back around and give us some good vibes.
I'm agreeing with you.
Going into the offseason. Now it's been against 3 bad defenses, 3 bad teams. The injuries, even before this latest injury, I was like, well, how can we depend on this guy's durability moving forward? Given he's had 2 injuries last year and an injury, now he's got a 3rd injury after missing the entire season last year. So, I mean, his last couple of outings were definitely a step in the right direction. I think he at least did enough to go, hey, he still has a shot at being a starting quarterback in this league. So I wouldn't be ready to completely move on this offseason.
We, see.
Unless there's a big fish out there. Those don't come around very often, so it's. But if we can go Bill Guerin on it, I'd consider that. I
think we completely agree. Isn't that funny? Is Joe Burrow really? That's not a possibility, is it? Because I keep getting text messages and seeing that on message boards. Does he? I thought, didn't he come out and say, no, I really don't want, I mean, I don't really want out of Cincinnati? Or I think, was he hinting at it earlier?
Well, he just had the cryptic comments like a couple weeks ago.
Yes, but since then, hasn't he said, I'm fine here? And I know he could just be saying that because you don't want to, I don't think you want to demand a trade at this moment. I don't know if we even have the wherewithal to get him anyways. Would he even want to play?
Well, that's the thing.
Here?
Do we have the assets to get him?
And does he want to play here?
Is it worth giving up all those assets to get him? Because would we have enough to work around him?
Yeah. He's not the quarterback is the most important position. I was looking at a piece from The Athletic, and the Vikings aren't alone in this, Tennessee, but there are so many there are so many positions in which, and a lot of it has to do with it's the money. There's a lot of decisions the Vikings have to make. Says starting center. Says only the Chargers have matched the Vikings in their usage of 16 offensive line combinations this season. 3 centers have seen action: Ryan Kelly, Blake Brandel, and Michael Juergens. The Vikings will have a decision to make this offseason with Kelly. He'll turn 33 in May. He hasn't played 17 games in a season since 2022. Cut him before June, and the Vikings save around $12 million on the 2026 cap. That move would leave the Vikings with about an obvious center, although Brandel filled in admirably. Perhaps Vikings could pair him with a journeyman free agent. A middle-round draft pick with more upside than Juergens could also make sense. That's the direction they have to save the $12 million, right? That's
not only that, but just for his own personal health, you got to be like, you get. He might just retire before you even have to make that decision.
That's correct.
And he should, and the team should be encouraging him to do so.
Pass-catching tight end. The Vikings don't have to part ways with tight end T.J. Hockenson at season's end. He is ostensibly under contract for 2 more seasons, but his cap hit is projected to be around $21 million, the second highest among NFL tight ends in 2026, behind only David Njoku. Who is he?
Plays for the Cleveland Browns.
You think they're happy with, I mean, he might be really good, but aren't they 3-12? Minnesota's cap situation will at minimum require a reworking of Hawkinson's figure. Vikings could also save around $9 million for next season by cutting him. What do you do there?
My guess is you try to do the restructure route. You definitely can't have that much committed against the cap for him. And some of these guys, it's hard to know how much of it is their production's going down because of them and how much of it is just because of the quarterback and the offense.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
like I don't think Justin Jefferson just got immensely worse this season, but his stats would show you. I mean, TJ Hockenson, if he gets 3 catches for 30 yards, you think, all right, that's a good game for him this season. Because he ain't getting much more than that. So it's hard to pay him 21 against the cap next year for the production he's giving you. So I think you got to go the restructure route, or, the funny thing is, and maybe you have more coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Every year we go into the draft in free agency, like, what are our needs? And last year we felt like most of our needs were addressed before we even got to the draft. This year, you could have 1 to 2 offensive linemen, tight end, running back, quarterback / backup quarterback, edge rusher, interior defensive line, cornerback, safety. You got needs all over the place.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to fill them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, and they bring those up. They say all-around running back to pair with Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones' cap number ranks as the 4th largest among all running backs in 2026. If the Vikings were to keep him and Mason, they'd be spending close to $20 million on their running backs room for next season. $20 million. Only the Saints are projected
for mediocre production.
Yeah, only the Saints are projected to spend more. The 31-year-old still reliable as a pass catcher, pass protector, and slasher between the tackles, but the Vikings could benefit from some youth. Free agent class includes possibilities Javonte Williams, Kenneth Gainwell, and others. There will be several running backs worthy of being drafted in the middle rounds, too. All comes down to dollars and cents with a lot of these guys. They're making so much money, and their productivity just doesn't match. As it talk about the lines, I brought this quote up a couple of times in the last few weeks. When they re-signed Hutchinson for the massive deal, gave him the new big deal, they asked him, you're spending a lot of money. He goes, yeah, and we'll spend it till we run out. And that's what happens in the league, right? You spend it till you run out, and you hope that all that spending all works out, that you have all those, your high-priced players are all peaking at about the same time, and you get a little luck and you stay healthy and you win a world championship. But, yeah, there's all sorts of trusted interior defensive lineman, number 3 wide receiver, off-ball linebacker next to Blake Cashman, tackle depth. Everything you were just talking about, Alec Lewis lays out in this athletic piece.
And even you said tackle depth, right? Like,
yep.
Tackle shouldn't be a need for next year, but given the year Christian Darrisaw just had, and Ryan O'Neal's getting a little bit longer in the tooth.
Yep.
There's another area you need to address. It's a pretty important spot.
We got a really good punter and a really good place kicker.
I like our place kicker a lot.
We got that going for us, which is nice.
Even, edge rusher. I think Van Ginkel's a quality player.
Yep.
Grenard, when healthy, was probably one of your best defensive players, but given you have Dallas Turner, does Grenard become expendable so you can use those resources elsewhere?
Yeah.
Is he a cut candidate? Even though when healthy, he was one of your best players.
Sure. That's it. And then I keep hearing everybody saying Bradbury's having a Pro Bowl-like season. Is that true? Is that's what people now are those people just trying to stir the pot? Like I did earlier when I said, were we better off? Were the Wild just as good without me? Before they made the trade, they were one of the best teams in hockey. They're still one of the best teams in hockey, but you could make an argument that maybe they should have just played it out. I think most people, 99 out of 100, would say it was the right trade to make. But it is, everybody said Bradbury had to go, too small, big nose tackles were beating him around. This, matter of fact, text message just came in on Bradbury. It says, Bradbury hasn't given up a sack or had a penalty called on him, played 900-plus snaps. I would say that's solid.
That's impressive.
Right? That is impressive.
What is he doing this year that he didn't do previously?
I don't know. Is some of it system, and does some of it tend to be inspiration? Oh, you doubted me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes if, that team doubted me, everybody's down on me. Nobody
Sure.
thinks I got it. Maybe that does that. Doncic's a prime example. You're fat and don't play defense. That's what they said about him when they traded him. The general manager of Dallas. Well, now he looks, he doesn't look like an Adonis, but he doesn't have a dad bod anymore, right? He looks much better than he did. I got to think that wasn't by accident. He just all of a sudden started eating better. It was just, you think I'm fat? Oh, maybe I do have a few extra pounds. I'll show you. Maybe that's what Bradbury did the old I'll show you. But yeah, there's all sorts of and they're not the only team. They're everywhere. General manager, I'm beginning to believe, is about the most important spot. Your general manager-coach combination when they decide on personnel to draft, right?
It's finding the right quarterback.
Well, finding the right quarterback obviously is important, but also finding. And look what they've done in Detroit. Now it's over for Detroit now, right? Their windows.
I don't think it's over.
Well, it might not be. Yeah, they still have some good.
They should be playoff competitors here for the next couple seasons.
Yeah, a year or two. But
maybe they'll get remotivated after a year of people now starting to doubt them in the offseason.
But look at Philadelphia. And we don't like them. We don't like the Eagles here, but hey, they just. That Howie is at Roseman. All he does is draft offensive. It seems like every year they draft 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen. So they've always got offensive linemen in the cycle, right? They're always there. If a guy leaves the free agency, you got another one. If a guy gets injured, you got a nice backup. That's the place to invest your money because we've seen, look what happened to Detroit this year. Offensive line. They were playing a third-string center yesterday. Well, one of the most important, the series that was the first and goal at the 1, and he gets called for flinching. The center flinches. Now, could a first-string center do that? Yeah, I suppose, but it's less likely. And then we've seen what's happened to the Vikings this year. Only the Chargers, as we picked that line from this piece from Alec Lewis that he did a few days ago. The only team to use more offensive line combinations than the Chargers and the Vikings. They were either the same or the Chargers had 1 or 2 more than us. I don't think JJ is going to buy his offensive line any Christmas gifts. They should be buying him Christmas gifts. Thank you very much. But anyway, we got a game on Sunday, Tennessee.
Actually, on Thursday.
Thursday, I mean. We got a
on
game
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. You master control supervising that day?
Unfortunately. I saw this tweet that resonated with me from something called Frank Schwab of Yahoo. He said, the NFL got unlucky with the 3 Christmas matchups all turning out to be duds, but they deserve the bad karma for being entirely greedy and trying to take over Christmas. Yeah. They get what they get. And that felt good to me because I have the exact same thoughts.
Well, they do get greedy. There's no question.
They had to. The NFL has to take over everything. They have to dominate everything, and they had to take over a day that they didn't need to do.
And
let the NBA have their day.
Yes, and because they can't flex those games. You can't flex the Thursday night games. You just can't do that. You can't all of a sudden look at, I don't know, let's say there's a more attractive game coming up. Let's say it's San Francisco, Seattle. Well, you can't flex that from a Sunday to I don't think you could do it with that short notice. Maybe you could, but they're not. So, they're getting bad games. But I'll be there. I'm going to the game, Tennessee. I'm bringing the family. It's our one appearance at the bank. It's a whiteout. So we'll be there for the game. And you'll be there in spirit. You'll be back here at our studio. We'll be excited about that. Any other big plans for the holiday, like Christmas Day?
I'm taking the boys to the Wild game tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
And then, we'll just go over to the in-laws for Christmas Eve and Christmas. And then, a little mite hockey tournament next weekend.
Very good. Well, good for you.
And we got the hockey rink all set up this last weekend. So we finally been outside skating a little bit.
In your backyard?
Yeah. It's been very nice.
Very good. Well, good for you.
Floated that thing like a month ago and hadn't been able to skate on it yet because the weather had just been killing my rink.
Yeah.
But we got 3 skates in.
I'm just going to go home and sit on the couch. Practice for the Olympics. Couch luge. My that is a good line. The Team USA didn't seem to find the humor. They had no idea what I was talking about. Couch luge. If you have to explain the joke, it's bad. Oh, by the way, go to commonmanbook.com. Here's a great gift to give Tennessee. Tickets for Flop, Sweat, and Tears, January 31st in Rochester. Also, if you're in Mankato, we're going to be there February, I think it's 23rd at the Cato Ballroom. You can get tickets at their website. Thank you very much. Well, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock after the Nico Medved show. Stick around. Big tickets next year on the Fan.
Calabash, wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.